During the next half hour, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation presents a program of folk songs sung by Klein and Bud Spencer, who are accompanied by Fraser McPherson flute and Forbes Hedrick guitar. We begin the program with a lively traditional song from Newfoundland, "I's the Buy That Builds the Boats," which is sung as a duet by Klein and Bud Spencer.
I's a buy that builds a boat, and I's a buy that sails her. I's a buy that catches the fish and takes them home to Lizer. Hip your partner Sally Tebow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Oh, go Twilligate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle.
Sods and rice to cover your plate, cake and tea for supper.
Codfish in the spring of the year, fried in maggoty butter. Hip your partner Sally Tebow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Oh, go Twilligate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle.
Well, I don't want your maggoty fish, that's no good for winter. I can buy as good as that down in Buena Vista. Hip your partner Sally Tebow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Oh, go Twilligate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle.
Well, I took Liza to a dance and faith, but she could travel, and every step that Liza took was up to her knees in gravel.
Hip your partner Sally Tebow, hip your partner Sally Brown.
Oh, go Twilligate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. Susan White, she's out of sight, her petticoat wants a border.
Old Sam Oliver in the dark, he kissed her in the corner.
Hip your partner Sally Tebow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Oh, go Twilligate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle.
Hip your partner Sally Tebow, hip your partner Sally Brown.
Oh, go Twilligate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle.
"I's the Buy That Builds the Boats," a traditional Newfoundland song. And now Bud Spencer sings Sable Island, a folk song from Nova Scotia. Sable Island is about 100 miles east of Halifax, and its treacherous, shifting bars of sand have wrecked so many ships over the years that it's become known as the graveyard of the Atlantic, and consequently it's both shunned and feared by mariners.
Come listen to a story I will tell to you of the graveyard of the deep, where the ships are caught by the shifting sands and remain in eternal sleep, where the mountains high meet the pale blue sky, the great white breakers roar, and the moon at night sends its failing light on O Sable Island shore, where the lifeguards wait for the dawn to come when a ship is doomed for the grave. They ride o'er the sands to the raging seas, the lives of the crew to save, where the men at night watch a turning light, send it beacon o'er the waves, and they pray to God up in heaven above to save the ship from a watery grave, where the ponies graze on the bright green grass or the hills of the sandy range. They herd in the valleys of sand at night to be hid from the wind and the rain, where the bars of sand are the hands of death as they lurk beneath the surf, and they've taken their toll of the ships that have passed from the first day of their birth. So we salute the lifeguards waiting there as the days roll into years. They risk their lives in their daily working for fears. Where the mountains high meet the pale blue sky, the great white breakers roar, and the moon at night sends its failing light on Osable Island shore, on Osable Island shore.
Both Sable Island and the first song we heard on this program are Canadian songs associated with the sea. But naturally, there are many Canadian folk songs which are primarily concerned not with the elements, but with the emotions. And Klein sings one of them now, The Maiden's Lament.
As I rolled out one evening in spring, down by a silent shady grove, I heard a maiden singing sad lament. She cried, alas, I have lost my love. Oh, love is handsome and love is fine, and love's a jewel when it is new. But when it is so old, it groweth cold and fades away like the morning dew. Come all you fair maids like me a-dying, it's now I'm taking my last farewell, and all you small birds round me flying, let your sweet note be my passing bell.
Claire Klein is joined now by Bud Spencer, and they sing a song which is in complete contrast to The Maiden's Lament, a lively ditty from Newfoundland called Bona Vista Harbor.
Lots of fish in Bona Vista Harbor, lots of fish right in around here. Boys and girls are fishing together, 45 from Carbonear. Sally is the pride of Cat Harbor, she ain't been swung since way last year. Drinking rum and wine and Cassie, what the boys brought home from Pierre. Lots of fish in Bona Vista Harbor, lots of fish right in around here. Boys and girls are fishing together, 45 from Carbonear.
Sally got a bouncing new baby. Father said that he didn't care, for she got that from the fella from Fortune what was down here fishing last year.
Lots of fish in Bona Vista Harbor, lots of fish right in around here. Boys and girls are fishing together, 45 from Carbonear. Sally goes to church every Sunday, not for to sing and not for to hear, but to see that fella from Fortune what was down here fishing last year.
Lots of fish in Bona Vista Harbor, lots of fishermen in around here. swing your partner, Jimmy Joe Jacob. I'll be home in the spring of the year.
The Old Man is a folk song which became well known in both England and Scotland during the early part of the 18th century, and it was included in various folk song collections published during the 1760s and 1770s. Since then, it's been listed in several North American collections, and in the United States, it has sometimes appeared under the title Shoes and Leggings. It's generally acknowledged that few versions of this song are as fine as the one from Nova Scotia, which Claire Klein sings now.
There was an old man came over the lea, oh, ho, ho, but I won't have him. He came over the lea, I suppose, to see me with his long beard so newly shaven. My mother, she bade me open the door, ho, 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 but I won't have him. I opened the door and he bowed to the floor with his long beard so newly shaven. My mother, she bade me set him a chair, oh, ho, ho, but I won't have him. I set him a chair, but I didn't care for his long beard so newly shaven. My mother, she bade me give him some meat, ho, 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 but I'll not have him. I gave him some meat, but the fool wouldn't eat with his long beard so newly shaven. My mother, she bade me sit on his knee, ho, 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 but I won't have him. For I sat on his knee and he tried to kiss me with his long beard so newly shaven. My mother, she bade me see him to bed. Ho, 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 no, I'll not have him. For I showed him to bed and he asked me to wed with his long beard so newly shaven. My mother, she bade me take him to church. Ho, 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 but I won't have him. I took him to church and left him in the lurch with his long beard so newly shaven.
For many years, the only ways into the interior of British Columbia were by saddle horse or by boat. The big stern wheelers plying the waters of the Fraser, the Skeena, and the other larger rivers brought supplies into that vast land where everything was hard to get and even harder to pay for. Bud Spencer's next song tells the story of one of the men who piloted these boats. It's called Riverboat Captain.
I've a tale to tell, the old man said, a river captain he. I've lived a lusty life, my son, on the rivers of BC. There's many traveled on my boat to seek their fortunes o'er. Honest men and crooked men have traveled back and forth. I've heard the shrilling cry of gold, and I've watched men go insane, and I've watched the greed that comes with gold, and I've seen men killed in vain. I brought the dance hall girls up north, the gambler with his gun. They'll take a miner's hard-earned pay just for an evening's fun. I brought my boat through many storms, but I've kept the North supplied, and I'm glad I've known these lusty men who've helped the North survive. A river captain's what I'd be, and I'd live my life again to sail those virgin inland streams and watch the land begin.
The exact origin of Bud Spencer's next song, Jam on Jerry's Rocks, is not known, but it's assumed that it probably had its beginnings in Maine, New York State, Pennsylvania, Michigan, or one of the provinces of eastern Canada.
Come all you true-born shanty boys, wherever you may be, come sit here on the deacon seat and listen unto me. 'Tis of the jam on Jerry's Rocks, and a hero you should know, the bravest of the shanty boys, our foreman, young Monroe. 'Twas on a Sunday morning, ere daylight did appear, our logs were piled up mountain high, we could not keep them clear, till 6 of our brave shanty boys, they did agree to go and break the jam on Jerry's Rocks with foreman young Monroe. Well, they had not broke off many a log till Monroe he did say, this jam will soon give way, boys, I'll send you far away. I'll send you off the drive, boys, for the jam it soon will go. Then he picked the key log out of the drive, and off went young Monroe. When the rest of all the shanty boys the sad news came to hear, they gathered at the river and downward they did stare, and there they found to their surprise their sorrow, grief and woe. All cut and mangled on the beach lay the form of young Monroe. So come all ye true-born shanty boys, wherever you may be, come sit here on the deacon seat and listen unto me. 'Tis of the jam on Jerry's Rocks, and a hero you should know, the bravest of the shanty boys, our foreman young Monroe. The bravest of the shanty boys, our foreman young Monroe.
Ainsi mon moine voulait danser is a French-Canadian song in which a young girl tries to induce a monk to dance with her. In earlier days, it was one of the dance songs used at the western fur trading posts whenever the voyageurs gathered for an evening's gaiety.
Si mon moine voulait danser,
If you will come and dance with me,
un capuchon je lui donnerai.
a feathered cap I will give to thee.
Danse mon roi, danse, tu n'entends pas la danse, tu n'entends pas mon moulin lola, tu n'entends pas mon moulin marcher. Ah si mon moine voulait danser,
If you will come and dance with me,
un ceinturon je lui donnerai.
a silver belt I will give to thee.
Danse mon roi, danse, tu n'entends pas la danse, tu n'entends pas mon moulin lola, tu n'entends pas mon moulin marcher. Ah si mon moine voulait
If
danser,
you will come and dance with me,
un capelet je lui
a
donnerai.
little cap I will give to thee.
Danse mon roi, danse, tu n'entends pas la danse, tu n'entends pas mon moulin lola, tu n'entends pas mon moulin marcher. Ah si mon moine voulait
You
danser,
will come and dance with me,
un froc de beurre je lui
a
donnerai.
gown of blue I will give to thee.
Danse mon roi, danse, tu n'entends pas la danse, tu n'entends pas mon moulin lola, tu n'entends pas mon moulin marcher. Ah dis-moi, nous voulons danser.
If you will come and dance with me,
Un beau sautier, je lui donnerai.
lovely songs I will sing to thee.
Danse, mon roi, danse, tu n'entends pas la danse.
Tu n'entends pas Maman Lola, tu n'entends pas Maman ma chérie.
Assis Momoin voulait danser, a French-Canadian folk song. And now Claire Klein sings a traditional Nova Scotian ballad entitled I'm Going to Get Married.
Early one morning in spring, to hear the birds whistle and nightingales sing, I spied a fair damsel who sweetly did sing, I'm going to get married next Monday morning. How old are you, my pretty fair maid? Whilst here in this valley so green. How old are you, my pretty fair maid? I'll be just 16 years old next Monday morning. 16 years old is too young for to marry, so take my advice, 5 years longer to tarry. For marriage brings trouble and sorrows begin, so put off your wedding for Monday morning. Why, you talk like a madman, a man has no skill. 5 years I've been waiting against my own will, and now I'm determined to have my own fling. I'm going to get married next Monday morning. Next Monday morning I begin with my care, to comb down my locks and to curl up my hair. And 6 pretty maidens all dressed in green shall dance at my wedding next Monday morning. Next Monday morning the bells they shall ring, my husband will buy me a guinea gold ring. Likewise he will buy me a new silken gown to wear at my wedding next Monday morning. Next Monday night as I go to my bed, as I turn round to the man that I wed, around his middle my 2 arms I'll fling. Oh, I wish in my heart it was Monday morning.
In North America during the last century, many thriving communities owed their existence solely to the discovery of gold, and quite often they became empty, deserted ghost towns almost overnight when the gold seams were exhausted. Bud Spencer's next song tells of one of these towns, Old Dolores.
There's a valley down below where the little peonies grow, and you're never less than half a day to water. There used to be a town where the drifters hung around on a mesa where it really hadn't oughter. The night was bright with candlelight, the whole town joined the chorus, and most any man in sight left his saddle with delight to mosey through the streets of Old Dolores. Well, I guess that any girl would give a fellow quite a whirl, and the plainsmen using saddles for a pillow. But the one I don't forget shared an old adobe hut with her father and a goat beside the willow. We used to walk and laugh and talk The whole town lay before us, but the adobe huts are gone. Came a ghost town with a dawn. No people in the streets of old Dolores. I was on the trail too long, and I knowed something was wrong. The town was mighty still as I drew nigh. All those empty hitching posts seemed like weather-beaten ghosts, and the hoofbeats echoed fast through all the quiet. The gold was gone, they'd all moved on. They hadn't waited for us. So we searched the towns around for a place to settle down, but there'll never be another old Dolores. No, there'll never be another old Dolores.
During the Depression in the 1930s, the price that Newfoundland fishermen could get for their catch was usually low, and yet they had to pay exorbitant prices for their imported flour. But such facts didn't prevent them from laughing at their plight in songs like this one, which Klein and Bud Spencer sing now, A Great Big Sea.
A great big sea hove in Long Beach, right far up out of Little Lido. A great big sea hove in Long Beach, and Granny Snooksy lost her speech. To me right, paw diddy paw dee, to me right, paw diddy paw dee.
Oh, dear mother, I wants a sack, right, paw laurel, toddle diddle I do. Oh, dear mother, I wants a sack with beads and buttons all down the back. To me right, paw diddy paw dee, to me right, paw diddy paw dee.
A great big sea hove in the harbor, right far up out of Little Lido. A great big sea hove in the harbor, and hove right into keyhole powder. To me right, paw diddy paw dee, to me right, paw diddy paw dee.
Me boot is broke, me frock is tore, right, paw laurel, toddle diddle I do. Me boot is broke, me frock is tore, but Georgie Snooks I do adore. To me right, paw diddy paw dee, to me right, paw diddy paw dee.
Oh, fish is low and flour is high, right far all toddle Little Lido.
Fish is low and flour is high, so Georgie Snooksy can't have I. To me right, paw diddy paw dee, to me right, paw diddy paw dee.
But I will have her in the fall, right far up out of Little Lido.
If he don't, I'll hoist my sail and say goodbye to old Cannell.
To me right, paw diddy paw dee, to me right, paw diddy paw dee, to me right, paw diddy paw dee.
During the past half hour, you've been listening to a program of folk songs sung by Klein and Bud Spencer, who were accompanied by Fraser McPherson flute and Forbes Hedrick guitar.